Hello everyone, so today we are going to talk about vocabulary that you need to know when watching romantic movies or for even talking about romance in real life. So these words will be very useful for anybody that wants to have natural conversations in English. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a very important word that native speakers use all the time. So make sure to watch to the end. The first word that we're going to talk about is crush. So this is a word that you will hear in some romantic movies. Someone's crush is someone that they like, someone that they think is attractive, handsome, beautiful. So even in real life, people might say, "Who is your celebrity crush?" And you can say, "Oh, Brad Pitt is my celebrity crush." So that means you think Brad Pitt is very handsome. Another word that people might use in this situation is hot. So again, when you're watching these movies, people might say, "Oh, look at that guy, he's so hot." And that doesn't mean that he needs some air conditioning. That means I think he's very sexy, he's very handsome. I like that guy and I want to talk to him. So that guy is so hot, or that girl is so hot. Then if you see someone you like, if you have someone that is your crush, then you might want to flirt with them. So to flirt with somebody is to talk with them or to gesture at them in a way that says, "Hey, I like you." So flirting could be looking at somebody and going, or something like that. Or it could be saying, "Oh, your hair looks so nice today. Oh, I like your jacket. Maybe we could get a drink sometime. Maybe we could go to a cafe sometime." So this would be flirting. Sometimes when you like somebody immediately, so the first time you see them, people might say this is love at first sight. So love at first sight means the moment you see somebody, you fall in love with them. In reality, I'm not sure if this is possible, but it's something that happens a lot in movies. And when you find someone you like, the next stage, if things go well, then people will say, "We are seeing each other." So that doesn't just mean that we are looking at each other. We are seeing each other means we have started to be in some kind of romantic relationship, but perhaps we are not very serious yet. We're not like a serious boyfriend and girlfriend. We're not living together. Then people will say we are seeing each other. And we are seeing each other is used in the UK and America. In America, people will also say we are dating. And we are dating again means that you have become some kind of relationship, but it's not really serious yet. So if someone's living with their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their partner, they won't say we are dating because it's not so serious. We are dating means your relationship has just started. Another phrase that you might hear in romantic movies is hook up. So if someone says, "Those two hooked up last night," it means they got together and had some kind of private romantic time together. So they hooked up. So their date went well and they disappeared together. People will say they hooked up last night. And a word that people will use for some very passionate kissing, people will say they made out. So to make out means to kiss with tongues, like a French kiss. Something that you see in these kind of movies sometimes. So just a small kiss like this is just a kiss or a peck. But if someone is really kissing somebody, then they say those two are making out. And then sometimes in these romantic movies, things go a bit wrong. And when something bad happens, if the girl in the movie doesn't like the guy, they will often say he is a jerk. So a jerk, this word can be used in other ways. It's a very American word, so British people, Australians, etc. don't use this word, but you hear it a lot in American movies. A jerk is somebody that's doing a bad thing, someone that's making people upset somehow. So in these romantic movies, when something goes wrong, they say, don't date that guy, he's a jerk. And that could be because he cheated on the girl. So to cheat on someone, so if you have an exam, you can cheat during the exam, and that means looking at somebody else's answers or something. But to cheat on someone means you are in a relationship, but you went and did something with another person, and that is cheating on someone. And also in this type of situation, for example, if there is a guy with 2 girlfriends, people might say he is two-timing. And that means, you see, 2 at the same time. So 2 girls at the same time. So in these movies, people might say he's a two-timing jerk. And that means, yeah, he is seeing 2 girls at the same time and I don't like him. And if things go really wrong, then people will break up. So people will say, she broke up with him, or they broke up. That means they separated, their relationship came to an end. And a kind of slang expression for this, which is used in a bit of a stronger way, people might say, he dumped me. So that means he left me, I liked him, but he didn't like me. He dumped me. And this is usually used in the movies, like when the character is crying and like, oh, I've been dumped, or she dumped me, or he dumped me. And then the last word I want to explain, and this was the word I mentioned at the beginning, which is quite difficult to explain, but I hope you guys can understand because native speakers use this word a lot. The word is cheesy. So this word cheesy has many different kind of meanings, but when it's used to talk about a romantic movie or some kind of romantic gesture, then it means that it's a bit too much. So, for example, if I want to get my girlfriend a gift and I make a card and I draw like lots of hearts and I say, I love you more than the flower loves the sun, something like that, then my friend might say, whoa, that's a bit cheesy. So that cheesy means like, that's not very cool, that's a bit too romantic, that's a bit too much. So if you have one of these movies where the girl is angry at the guy and then he comes to her window with his guitar and he sings her a song like, I love you and I'll love you forever. And then she's like, oh, I forgive you. When you're watching this type of movie, you might say, this movie's so cheesy. So it means kind of a bit too romantic, too much. But cheesy can be used when talking about other things too. So it just means something kind of cheap, something kind of obvious. So if you're watching an action movie and there's one guy with a big gun and he kills many people and he's looking really strong and he says something very cool, like, oh, I'm getting too old for this, then people again will say, this movie's so cheesy. But sometimes people like cheesy movies, so people might say, this is so cheesy, but I love it. So that's all from me today. I hope you found this vocabulary useful. Like I said, you can use this when watching movies, or you can use this just when talking about relationships in real life. If it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, then like and please comment, let me know what you think. Also check out my podcast where you can get some listening practice. There is a link for that below in the description of the video. Thank you all very much and see you next time.